Hey everybody, Jeff aka GCurse here. How are you all doing today? Today I have a React video for you. It is actually not a DSP React video, which is kind of rare because of the fact that I normally been doing a lot of those videos. God knows DSP Gaming deserves to be dunked on, the piece of shit that he is. No, no. Today I'm actually going to be doing a react to something that I actually love. I love Transformers. The fandom drives me nuts, but I love Transformers. I love fucking Transformers. Not literally fucking Transformers. I love Transformers. Yeah. That's why I saw a video from a YouTuber named TJOmega. He posted TJ's hopes for Transformers 2025. I like that idea. I've been trying to get ready to do a top 10 list of a list of what I would like to see for Transformers Age of the Primes. That's the next one that's coming out. But it's just with all my other stuff, I'm just a little bit too busy. But I saw this and I thought, you know what? Let's see what TJ has to say. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna probably have this video like in different like segments, like segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, or whatever, where he'll talk about a specific item. Yeah. I'm gonna let him talk, and then I'll pause the video and I'll give you my thoughts. But first, as always, you like what you're watching, click the like, click the subscribe. Even if you don't like the video, just click that down button. Down the down vote, down thumb, whatever you want to fucking call it. But yeah, so let's get on with it, shall we? Okay.
On my hopes and dreams for the Transformers brand in the year 2025. Since we're about done with this year, we are anticipating a lot of big things for the franchise next year. I would just like to go over a few of the things I am really hoping for. And then we can kind of go back and see how much they actually did. Like,
Okay, by the way, before he actually starts this, I actually have that figure. That figure is Vector Prime. He's actually on the shelf. I haven't had a chance to open them up yet, but from what I can see, he actually looks like a pretty cool figure. So, it's nice to see that this guy has good taste like I do.
this time, late December next year, you can go back to this video and find out how much did they actually live up to. Gonna bet you, not all of it. So let us begin, and I think the big thing is probably the thing that a lot of Transformer fans want any update on whatsoever. I want to find out about Transformers Reactivate. At this point, I don't even care if it's a cancellation. I just want to find out something. I want to hear something about the status of this game. Right now, the Instagram account was deactivated, ironically, given the name. Now, I believe a Twitter post said that this was in error, but they still haven't gotten it back up as of this recording. So who knows? Who knows? We don't. Nobody knows because they won't tell us anything. We were supposed to get an update. Like they announced it, like, okay, we're not gonna have an update for the rest of 2023, but stay tuned for updates next year in 2024. Well, 2024 is over, and now I'm still waiting for some kind of update to actually be announced. Show me something. Like we are counting on leaks from like the earlier build of the game, which frankly didn't look half bad. For a game that was still in development, I would say it actually kind of looked good. It looked like a game I would actually like to play. But we've had zero. We've had absolutely nothing. This game has been in development for like in some form or another. This game has been in development for what 7 or 8 years or so. The toys that came out this like very recently have had like 2020 copyright stamps on them, so they were supposed to come out years ago, and they won't say anything. They will not give us any kind of definitive update. Just tell me something. Tell me like, okay, well, we switched engines and we're basically redeveloping from the ground up. Tell me like characters you're putting in. Show me a character model. Show me updated artwork. Give me some more storyline to speculate over. Tell me something. Tell me anything. Yeah, it's getting really, really frustrating. I really want a high-end, very high-quality Transformers video game title. But when the first developer who genuinely tries to do that is, like, flaking this bad, it does give me concern that this franchise is just never going to work in the video game department. So yeah, sometime next year, and again, I don't even care if it's a cancellation, just tell me something about this game. Anything. Likewise,
Okay, I'm guessing that he's done, so I'm gonna stop right here. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. If there's two things that the goddamn fandom just does not want to fucking understand is number one, reactivate, it's dead. It's fucking dead. If you can accept the fact that it's been 7 years development, I don't even say accept the fact, you just acknowledge the fact. You acknowledge the fact that it's been 7 years in development. Out of that 7 years, the shitty figures. Hold on. It's been 7 years since the goddamn game has been in development. You acknowledge the fact that these fucking figures. I grabbed Optimus Prime here because he was the closest to me on the shelf. That they have trademark copyright stamps on them. 2020. You acknowledge that. You acknowledge the fact. You acknowledge that the goddamn Instagram is closed down. Put the pieces together. It's dead. It's fucking dead. This figure here, this Optimus Prime, out of those 4 motherfucking figures that they released, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Soundwave, and Starscream, this is the only semi-decent figure there is. How it drives me up the fucking wall when you have evidence just slapping you in the face, slapping you like a pimp slapping his whore. Where's the money, bitch? Where's the fucking money? And the goddamn fandom does not want to accept it. The game is canceled. If one of the main avenues of promoting this fucking game, their Instagram, is closed down, it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to figure, well, game's most likely canceled. And I'll be honest, if you like the game, the way the game looked, that's your decision. To me, I think it looked like shit. It looked like shit, but that's just me also. But yeah, it just drives me up the fucking wall when it's like they cannot accept reality. The game's canceled. Time to move on.
I hope we find out.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Fuck's sake. This motherfucker. Okay.
Something for Transformers 1. I know the box office was not great. But there's so much behind it. It's such a well-received movie. I genuinely feel like a second go at it would actually produce results. I think the goodwill and word of mouth that this movie created would actually be able to be carried forward into a second movie that would potentially perform better, especially if we can identify the problems and why this movie didn't succeed, which largely comes down to the marketing for it was absolutely abysmal. It was incredibly misinforming about the product that we actually got in theaters. If we can get something more consistent, if we can actually get something that is like, here's the tone of the movie, like there's a little bit of comedy in it, but for the most part, you're in for like a really tragic story, or like a real look into like Transformers as characters, not fancy CGI set pieces, then you might have had something. If Paramount can actually learn from its mistakes, I'm dreaming, we might actually get something really good out of this if they are willing to do it again. Keep in mind, The Last Night, box office wise, an abysmal failure, like absolutely horrible numbers. So they are willing to take another stab at a franchise that didn't turn in money on its last results. But then again, like it's kind of like the movie franchise for Transformers is kind of concerning right now because Rise of the Beast didn't do well, 1 didn't do well. Bumblebee did okay, but not fantastic. So the last 3 movies only got like a half hit out of 3. That's not great. It's not great. They are still developing the Transformer G.I. Joe movie, so we know that's moving forward. But that's pretty much all we know. We have no idea. I just want some word on like, are we going to get a Transformers 2? Are we going to get something to indicate like, yeah, we're actually going to get a continuation of this storyline because this is a really good storyline I want to see again.
Okay, I'm stopping here because I'm guessing that's when he's going to be talking about the next thing. Okay, hold on, let me there. Oh my fucking god. I'm not sure what it is with this goddamn fandom and Transformers 1. Transformers 2 is dead. It's dead. You don't want to admit it. It's fucking dead. My mom, it's as dead as my mom. My mom's been dead since 2021. She's not coming back. That's the same chance you have of Transformers 2. Here, I'll put it in a way that even you can understand. You have a better goddamn chance of seeing Jesus Christ, if you believe in him, resurrect as a chocolate rabbit with a caramel filled center. You have better chance of seeing that than fucking Transformers 2. Get over it. It makes me laugh my ass off internally because I don't really laugh out loud. TJ over here was talking about how he made that little quip about Paramount not basically learning from their mistakes. That basically that they're kind of blind and everything. Kind of like the fucking fandom. They will fucking carry this piece of shit movie to the goddamn grave and claim that it is a second coming. It's the best thing since sliced bread. It's not. It was a garbage movie. Just because you liked it does not mean that it was a seller. This is another fucking thing. And this goes back to what I just talked about in the previous entry. He acknowledges the movie did shit in the box office. And I'm honestly glad because I fucking hated it. He acknowledges that it did poor in the box office. But in his fucked up head, he thinks, oh, well, it has positive word of mouth and we can carry it through. No, you can't. No, you can't. Positive word of mouth doesn't mean shit when banks look at investments. And that's what it needs. It needs an investment. And guess what? Guess what? Hasbro said that they're no longer backing these fucking videos or these movies. And at which I can fucking say, thank God. Every time I go onto Facebook into one of these mini Transformer pages, Transformers groups, whatever. Do you see Transformers 1? Do you see? No, I didn't fucking see Transformers 1. You wanna know why? Because it looks like it's a kiddie show. And that's the issue with Hasbro. They kind of work themselves into a corner and they're fucked. They are fucked. They're trying to appeal to their core audience. And they don't realize that the core audience has fucking grown up. Except for people like TJOmega over here. They've grown up. They're more fucking cynical. Hell, I am the most cynical motherfucker you'll ever find. This look Transformers 1. It could have had the best marketing. It could have literally shit gold bricks and I still wouldn't fucking watch it. Why? Because, like I said, I've moved on. I've moved on. I've realized happy endings don't fucking happen. Happy endings do not happen. We're adults, and it's even a known fact nowadays. Here, I'll even fucking show you here. God damn, bring back Transformers, my ass. Adults are buying toys for themselves. It's the biggest source of growth in the industry. Hasbro doesn't realize that. Yeah, kids are still, adults are still buying toys for kids, but it's the adults that are buying these things. It's the adults are buying it. Adults, most of them, most of us know what the real world is like. We're the age of happy after endings, where the good guy vanquishes the bad guy, and the good guy can ride off into the sunset. It's over. It's fucking over. And that's one of the reasons I didn't watch this piece of shit movie. I fucking hated the Bayverse movies, but I liked them slightly more than Transformers 1 because you had the violence. Even though I hate the concept of having humans being injected into everything. The one thing that a lot of those Bayverse movies did right was they at least made it look like that the Autobots could have lost. Here's what I want, and that thing is Hasbro. Well, number one, Hasbro's not they're not bankrolling their movies anymore. They're backing out. Here, don't believe me? Let's see here. That's the after a succession of box office flop, CEO Chris Cox told Bloomberg Hasbro will no longer co-finance movies based on its products. Instead, they will be focusing on gaming and new Dungeons and Dragons video game in development now. They had a remote chance of finding people to help invest in these movies when Hasbro was still taking on a risk. Hasbro's done taking on risks. Do you think any other companies will have Transformers 2 brought to them, and that they're instantly going to say, "Yeah, take that"? They're going to look at the fact that their parent company Hasbro decided these things are not fucking worth it anymore. We're pulling out. They're going to see that, and you think that another party is going to take on the whole responsibility themselves? No, the answer is no. They're not. They're not. Now, I'm kind of curious. He made a claim. Let's see here. Let's see here.
And speaking of storyline, I really hope.
Oh, hold on. Let's go back.
One didn't do well. Bumblebee did okay, but not fantastic.
Well, let's go back.
Willing to do it again. Keep in mind, the last night, box office wise, an abysmal failure. Like absolutely horrible numbers. So they are willing to take another stab at a franchise that didn't turn in money on its last results. But then again, like it's kind of like the movie franchise for Transformers is kind of concerning right now because Rise of the Beast didn't do well. 1 didn't do well. Bumblebee did okay, but not fantastic. So the last 3 movies only got like a half hit out of 3. That's not great. It's not great. They are still developing the Transformer G.I. Joe movie.
Okay, that's what it's. Transformers G.I. Joe. He made that claim, and I want to see if it's actually true. Let's see here. Okay. Where's G.I. Joe still in production? I want to see if it's still in production. Hold on. Ah, it's still okay. So it will be in theaters 2025. I thought that they canceled it. So that is my fault. It's still gonna fucking suck, but I was wrong. Congratulations. You still got your hope for another Transformers movie. It's still gonna suck because Hasbro doesn't fucking know what it is that their core audience wants. Now, what do I want? What do I want? I want I want a Transformers movie that is violent. Hard already. Right there alone, you know they're not going to do it. The last thing that actually even got my attention when it came to Transformers on any screen was the War for Cybertron Netflix. And people even just said that was a piece of shit. I actually liked that movie that series compared to even the concept of watching Transformers 1. Was War for Cybertron trilogy perfect? Fuck no, it had its flaws. But it was actually something that caught my attention. It made me sit there and wait for Earthrise to be released, and then for Kingdom to be released. It's fucking sad that a subpar Netflix series got me more interested in Transformers than this tripe. Transformers 2 is not coming out. I hate to, now, actually, I don't even say I hate. The fandom deserves to have some fucking cold water splashed on their face. Stop living in a delusion. Reactivate's not coming, is not releasing. Reactivate's as dead as my mom. Transformers 2, toss it onto the kindling. Okay, with that said, let's continue on.
So we know that's moving forward. But that's pretty much all we know. We have no idea. I just want some word on, like, are we going to get a Transformers 2?
No, you're not.
Are we going to get
there is no Transformers 2.
Like, yeah, we're actually going to get a continuation of this storyline because this is a really good storyline I want to see again. And speaking of storyline, I really hope Earthspark gets a satisfying conclusion. We are assuming that, they found out about the cancellation, into season 2 production, and that season 2 is going to get a satisfying finale. I hope that's the case. I hope they didn't get I hope they didn't just get the rug pulled out from under them because they were expecting a 3-season show, got a 2-season show that they were going to call a 3-season show because, TV is weird. I'm hoping we get a satisfying ending because I really feel like this show is criminally underrated. I still support this show. I still do videos for this show because I genuinely enjoy this show. And I think a lot of people just really did not give it a chance. That said, I also see why people didn't take to it. So, you know what? Fine. That's fair. I just hope that whatever the conclusion to the story is, I hope they had enough time to wrap it up and actually give us something satisfying for the ending. I hope they didn't plan to leave it on a big season 2 cliffhanger. Like Unicron's bearing down on the planet and then they just cut to black and see in season 3, whoops. I really hope that's not the case. This would be the second time in recent history a show of mine got cut off without getting the full run of 3 seasons they were expecting. Rip Owl House. But they had time to make a satisfying conclusion out of what they had left. I don't know about Earthspark. I don't know if we're going to get that. But my fingers are crossed. I'm hoping that is the case.
Okay, so once again, he acknowledges that people did not watch the show. I don't understand this mentality of people can literally have facts slapping them across the face, like it's their dad, just slapping them across the face for failing, and then them just totally not accepting it. It's entitlement that these people are suffering from. Me, even if I had cable, which I don't, I got rid of cable years ago. The reason I never watched this, it's actually right there looking in the face. Nickelodeon. If I didn't want to watch Transformers 1 because they it's too fucking kidified. I don't give a flying fuck what the story is. I don't. That movie looks like Pixar trash. It looks like Pixar trash. If I didn't want to watch Pixar trash, why the hell would I want to watch anything from Nickelodeon? And like I said, he even acknowledged people didn't watch it, but he still thinks that it could have a third season. Like he still thinks that there's a chance for Transformers 2. Even if Paramount releases Transformers 2, you think it's going to do any better than 1? No, it's not. It's not. It's not the fucking advertising. It's the movie itself. And you need to understand that. It's the movie itself. Kiddie movies do not do it anymore for adults. Call me cynical, maybe it's because the world's a fucking shitty place and adults have to live in it. They want stuff that can relate to them. What relates to adults? I don't know. How about adult themes? How about fucking war? This isn't the 50s anymore where the cowboy can ride off into the sunset. That shit is long gone. But yeah, Nickelodeon. The minute that even if I had cable, the minute that they plastered Nickelodeon on this title, they lost me as a customer, even if I had cable. Because I know that with Nickelodeon being attached to it, what the hell it was I'd be getting. And trust me, it sure as hell isn't Autobots and Decepticons ripping each other apart.
And we're going to talk about Earthspark and the TV series. I hope Cyberworld isn't what I fear it's going to be. My fear with Cyberworld is that it is going to be a very safe, back to basics, cookie cutter, like predetermined, homogenized Transformers experience. Oh, the Autobots are, Autobots and Decepticons battling over Energon on Earth. Woo! With a name like Cyberworld, I do expect there to be some kind of twist. Like, we might get a little bit more metaphysical. We might get a little digital with the fight between Autobots and Decepticons. As long as it's doing something fresh, I liked Earthspark a lot because it was doing something fresh with the old Transformers formula. And I feel like that's going to be used as the scapegoat for why the show did not do well. Don't blame the very poor toys or the very bad partner that is Paramount that kept hopping its its a time slot around, which will kill any show no matter how good it is. Don't blame those things. No. Blame how weird the story was. Blame how far away it was. No, obviously they want Autobot versus Decepticon stories. They don't want to see like Autobot Megatron. They don't want to see, a new species of Cybertronian. Ugh. I'm hoping it's not safe. My fear with Cyberworld is that it's going to be safe after Earthspark failed. I feel like the same as Paramount. I don't feel like they're going to learn from their mistakes when it comes for the next Transformers movie. I worry Hasbro's not going to learn from their mistakes when it comes to the brand new cartoon. I feel like they're going to blame the wrong thing instead of listening to fans, and we're going to end up with basically the same style of show, which would be very, very frustrating to me. And the same style of toy line that isn't selling. Because Earthspark was very easy to find every single time. There was never an Earthspark toy that I ever had trouble finding until the late releases, which became very scarce. I still do not have any form of hashtag. Takara sold the Warrior class. Need to go get that. But there's a deluxe supposedly on the way. Assuming that didn't get canceled too. Okay, I'm ranting on Earthspark again. Basically, I want Cyber World to continue the vibe of something different, something fresh. We've been telling this story for 40 years. Do something different. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I just feel like after the failure of the last series, I just feel like the different approach is going to get the blame and they're going to go back to basics. That's the fear. So I hope I'm wrong.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop here. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Hasbro doesn't listen to the fans. Well, if Hasbro listened to the fans, what fans exactly would you want Hasbro to listen to? Because Hasbro listened to one group of fans when the fandom was basically saying Hasbro doesn't do anything different. Hasbro released the War for Cybertron Siege figures, and God damn it, the fucking fandom's like, Hasbro doesn't do anything different. Hasbro doesn't do anything different. And Hasbro's like, hey, here are these awesome figures. We're calling this line the War for Cybertron Siege line. These are going to be our most articulated figures, most detailed, and they're going to have this awesome battle damage. And then the fucking fandom got their panties in a twist. These figures are garbage. Nobody wants battle damage. Hasbro doesn't take any risk. Oh my God, I remember seeing so many of those fucking posts online. It made me want to fucking hang myself. The same people who were chastising Hasbro about the battle damage, which I love. I love the battle damage. The same people chastising Hasbro about battle damage was the ones that were basically saying, we need something different. You can't make the fucking fandom happy. You can't make it happy. So what part of the fandom do you want Hasbro to listen to, JT? Because if they listen to the ones that go, okay, guys, what would you like? Transformers 2! Transformers 2! They would fucking fund that second goddamn movie, and it would still fucking crash. And this is why I fucking hate fandoms. Because they're full of nothing but complaining little bitches. We want something different. We want something different. Here's something different. We don't want that. No, take that back. Safe is the only way Hasbro can do it nowadays. Because they worked themselves into a corner for over the last 30 goddamn years. They failed to understand that their original customers, they're adults now. And they don't understand how to connect with those adults. The closest thing they had was the Michael Bay movies. Those movies fucking sucked. But at least the violence was something we related to. By the way, those same motherfuckers who were claiming that Hasbro doesn't do anything different, they are the same goddamn crybabies who got upset about the dead figures that have been released last couple summers. The Dead Prowl, Brawn, Ironhide, and Ratchet. Those motherfuckers are the same ones who are crying for something different. And then they throw a fit when that shit gets released. That's why whenever I'm on Facebook and I see one of those people say how this has ruined my childhood, they don't matter to me. They're fucking dead already. Because I'd make you a bet 2 years ago, that same crybaby over there would have been the one saying, we need something different. Here's something different. Get it away, get away, get away. My childhood, my childhood. Trust me, jackass, your childhood is no better than anybody else's.
I hope my fears are unfounded in that regard. And speaking of something different, I really hope all of the 13 primes we get are just ridiculous toys. I hope they go out of their way to make the 13 stand out and be like the weirdest toys they've done in a while. And there's so much room for that. There really is a lot of room for that. We've already seen a few, and to be fair, they are a little bit typical, but they are doing something, at least interesting with their alt modes. Prima is this kind of lunar buggy vehicle, which is not something we normally get to see. I really, really like Solus Prime's vehicle mode. She looks great. Megatronus is a tank. Okay, it's the Fallen. Fallen's alt mode was a tank. I have to give them this one, so okay, fine. He can be a tank, but that does seem very typical. I want weird stuff. I want unusual stuff. I want them to go out of their way to make these things as oddball as possible. Onyx Prime seems like such a good opportunity to do something that's like really stupid with a Transformer toy, and I am all for that. As long as they're introducing the 13 who are supposed to represent all these different branches of what a Transformer can be, I want them to go out of their way to make them all really, really weird and unique. I want that out of like Amalgamous Prime. What is he going to be? What do you do with him? Like, clearly a lot of people have said weaponizer toy. So like pull apart weapons, that can reassemble into like a full transforming robot. Okay, you might have something there. It's technically not what Amalgamous is all about. I'm just super curious how they're going to handle his character. Alchemist is another one. Alchemist we don't have an alt mode for. Like, he is loosely based from his design. He is loosely based on Macadam from Cyberverse, which is the only time that that Prime was prominent in fiction. So that makes sense. But he transformed in that series in Shadow because his alt mode was so monstrous and terrifying. That was the joke. Like, we can't even show you what he's turning into. Just know that it is scaring everybody in the bar, including Megatron. His transformation intimidates Megatron. How are you going to live up to that, Age of the Primes toy? How are you going to do? Especially because I think it's going to be a deluxe. I don't think it's going to be like some towering monstrosity of metal or anything. They have such a good opportunity to do stuff that's just absolutely ridiculous, and I hope they jump to it. I hope my Cronus is something super weird. I hope he's very tiny in the box with stuff that make up for it and make a really different toy out of it. I hope that, Onyx does manage to get a vehicle mode out of that Centaur mode, and then still somehow has the bipedal mode he has here. I hope Quintus is some like Cthulhuoid monster in alt mode. I hope that I hope they figure out something weird for Nexus Prime, like a leader class whose limbs all like detach and transform into alternate vehicles. Like he's 5, like his alt mode is 5 vehicles instead of just 1, to get the combining element of the character in there. Weird things. I am hoping for very weird things. And I feel like some of them are going to give it and some maybe not, but we'll see.
Okay, so God, he doesn't fucking know what he wants. He doesn't know what he wants. One moment he's like, I want them to just go wild, make these things look extremely weird, go wild. He just said it before I even fucking paused it. Go wild, and then he can actually, again, like was everything else so far, he can accept the fact that Megatronus is going to be a tank. Then he like, well, Megatronus is a tank because basically the source material, he was a tank. Okay, I'll give them that one. What the fuck is it? Do you want wild, or are you going to be content with what Hasbro already has done? Because I'm getting 2 different fucking messages here. And this is why, like I said, I don't fucking interact that much with the fandom. I don't. Because they don't goddamn know what they want. One minute they're like, I want wild, I want I want bombastic. I know he didn't use the word. I want bombastic. I want something I haven't seen before. Well, he's a tank. I'll give him that one. I don't get it. You know, why can't people just stick to their guns instead of trying to say that they want something different than to just instantly walk it back or acknowledge that they will never get something that they want. They acknowledge it, but then they live in this fucking delusion that they can still get what they want, even though they literally just acknowledged Reactivate that haven't heard anything from Reactivate for over a year, and their Instagram is closed down. Logic would say that they're not making the fucking game. I like to still hear something. It's still going to be coming out. Transformers 2. Transformers 1, I acknowledge that the sale, you know, that the box office wasn't that great, but it had a lot of positive feedback. This fucking shit is garbage. Pick one side of the fucking fence.
Speaking of Combiner, do you love how I'm like linking all?
Oh, before he continues on. The one thing I will say, I hope that they do for the 13 primes, because I don't know jack shit about the 13 primes. I like the concept. These are supposed to, I think they're supposed to be like the Transformers gods or something like that. They're supposed to be highly deified or deities or whatever you want to call them. At the least, these figures should all be Voyager class. They should all be Voyager class. At least that's my opinion. You know, you are having characters that the Transformers look up to. That these are fucking characters that, like, Megatronus. Megatron took his name after Megatronus in some lore, if I understood correctly. These are characters that Transformers looked up to, or people, or individuals. I would hate to think that one of the 13 primes that, say, for example, Optimus Prime looked up to, that he viewed with such reverence, and he's a deluxe class. No, these guys need to be at least Voyager class.
All these together so smoothly. Speaking of combiners, I'm hoping the aerial bots are actually more interesting than they're looking so far. My least favorite Combiner Wars figures were the aerial bots, because all four of them just kind of felt very samey. You know, when you all have to be the same length and the same shape, so they can all form the same shaped arm, the same shaped leg. They all have to have the same combiner block in the same spot. That does limit a lot of what you can do engineering-wise, and really I just felt like I was playing with the same toy 4 times over. To be fair, that's not very different from how they felt in G1 as well. But I'm hoping that with modern engineering and just like more like sensibility in the approach, that at the very least the new aerial bots are going to feel unique. I want them to feel different from each other. I don't want to feel like I'm playing with the same toy 4 times over. Especially because they don't really need to like play into Superion nearly as much, especially the two that turn into the leg parts, because they just have to like plug onto the back of his skeleton leg. They don't have to do any kind of weird combination. They don't have to do like the split torso trick that the arm figures are going to have to do. That will limit them. But then again, you know, that same gimmick was applied to a couple of toys in Legacy that were actually pretty good. I like the drag strip. I liked drag strip from that line. The point being, I have a fear that they're just doomed to always be just kind of samey. And I'm hoping that they do enough to make them like feel different. So like once I turn him into Superion, I have a reason to dismantle him and play with the individual toys again. Because I gotta tell you, I have had Superion combined for a long time now, Don't feel like changing that. Really don't. I am hoping that what we get.
Okay, so regarding the combiners, I really don't have much to say about that. I'm gonna hold judgment until I get the figures. I have all the Stunticons, and to be honest, I haven't even transformed them into Minosaur. I haven't transformed. I don't feel the need to. I'm happy having the Stunticons on a shelf. But hopefully he gets what he wants. This one, I just have honestly, I have a feeling that they're just going to use exact same template that they used with Minosaur with all the other combiners, and to me, that's okay. That's okay. The only combiner I probably will convert and keep in their combine mode is Devastator. The rest are probably going to remain in their core components.
With Star Convoy as the Titan for next year is not the end of the gigantic Titans. Now, I will be fair. I was not big on the last one we got, the Nemesis, like the previous to Tidal Wave. Tidal Wave I really liked, but the Nemesis just felt like such a nothing.
Really?
Because the Nemesis is in G1 on screen for like less than 30 seconds before it crashes on Earth. It's not like the Ark that was there for almost every episode of the first 2 seasons. It was just a ship that caught up to the Ark and like fulfilled a part of the plot. That's it. It's more famous for being in Beast Wars, and if it was done the way it looked in Beast Wars, if the robot mode and the extra features to it were Beast Wars based, I would actually be into it. I would actually desire that toy. It's nice as a companion piece to the Ark, but it's not a character. And like, if I'm dropping $200, I want it to be a character. I know we are low on gigantic characters who could potentially be Titans, but my hope for 2025 is that we are going to find out the status of those gigantic Titans. Star Convoy, okay, it's a tight little $150 Titan, cool, fine, whatever. It looks like it's going to be a fantastic toy, but I still think there's plenty of space and and a few options there for those gigantic $200 Titans. And I want to find out that we actually have more of those on the way. Whether it is like an announcement before the end of the year, like this is your Titan for 2026, or just Evan and the crew from the development going, like we haven't cut that off. Like we're still planning like gigantic Titans. One or the other. I just need to know that the big Titans are going to be okay, even though we now have a smaller scale for them. And on that note, we did see that we are getting an extra Titan next year in Trypticon. Granted, it's just a repaint. But it was specifically mentioned as a Gen Selects figure. And that's another hope I have for 2025 is the...
Okay, so I'm going to stop right here. Granted, I haven't transformed neither the Ark or the Nemesis. I had them on the wall behind me. I know you can't see them, but yeah, I think it's fine as companion piece, and that sounds like what TJOmega's kind of saying also. But I think you should take them when you can get them. Like just because the Nemesis never transformed or anything, it doesn't mean that it wouldn't make a good Titan. Clearly, somebody at Hasbro HQ had to have thought that the Nemesis would make a cool Titan. But here, I'm just curious, actually. Here, let's do this. One second. There we go. Let's move this over. There we go. I'm curious. Because I was actually wanting to get Tidal Wave, but I was holding off on Tidal Wave because of the fact that reports are that he has fucked up knees. So I was thinking I'll wait till like Thanksgiving, Christmas time, and they'll knock the price down significantly. When I last looked, the motherfucker was gone. Let's see here. Transformers Tidal Wave. See, is it back yet? No, he is not here. He is still sold out. So it's like, Yeah, I think I may have lost. I may have missed the boat on that one. See what I did there? What about Transformers? Just curious, is that one still okay? So they still. Holy shit! Wow. No featured offers. Wait, it had a feature. It said like 300 some odd. But oh, there we go. 300. Wow. Holy hell. Holy hell. I'm still really on the fence about getting this guy. I'm still really on the fence about getting this guy. 183. Let's see here. Do they have it on like. Wait, hold on. They don't have it on Prime. Oh well. I got Omega Supreme, so it's like it's okay though. If I did anything, I'd probably remove the head, like it was, like to make it accurate to the cartoon, you know. Oh, my feelings ruined my childhood. Okay, but yeah, I am okay with I'm okay with you know, the Nemesis. Not every even though they made it into a Titan, I like it. And I'm pretty sure people like it as a Titan, you know, as in its robot mode. Not so much me, but you know. Okay. So this I think I can give him a pass when it comes to the Titans.
The return of Generation Selects. I really liked the vibe of Selects. I liked that it was putting out these like super obscure characters, like the kind of thing that FunPub would put out. Like Selects always felt like a replacement for the oddball stuff Botcom would come up with. The difference is they're just filling gaps. They're doing like late era FunPub stuff that really wasn't as popular because it wasn't nearly as clever or inventive. It was usually just repaint them to look like Diaclone. But Selects is a way of making up for that, having that kind of spirit. The problem is we've seen less and less of Selects the last couple years. Trypticon coming out in that line, that's a huge improvement. The box looking like something, that's a huge improvement. You know what killed Selects? Aside from maybe going too far into the obscure and doing the same mistake FunPub made, which is not being creative enough. The mistake it made is they started selling it to like shops like GameStop, which that's why that's one of the big reasons why that line got really annoying is because you'd go into some stores that were meant to buy Generation Selects for their online shop, but they bought in quantities that allowed them to put it in store in the brick and mortar locations, where all you had on the shelf was a blank brown box. So now you had this absolute glut of toys at these stores, and it's not just GameStop that did it. A lot of like collector stores did it too. Of toys that you couldn't even see without breaking the seal, right? All you had was a name on the box. It was really frustrating, you know, and I think just that caused overproduction, that caused glut. I've bought Gen Selects toys at Ross on super deep liquidation. I want Gen Select to come back the way it's supposed to be. You know, I want more imaginative ones. I want them to like focus on online releases, not trying to get them into brick and mortars because that's a mistake. It's in the name, Selects. You know, it's meant for a select market. And that means you have a select few fans who are going to be interested in it. So it's not meant for mass retail. It does look like with the new box style that it is, you know, going to continue in some form. They specifically made a point during this broadcast. Yeah, like this is the new box for Selects going forward. Cool. That means we're getting more, right? And hopefully it's not just upgraded paint jobs like Trypticon here. Hopefully we get a few more like really creative things. I would love for them to be like old school BotCon creative. I would love for them to go into like really cool colors and characters that would be really cool to get new toys of, but maybe not something that uh, BotCon would have done late in their run. Like, you know what would be perfect would be more BotCon toys. You know how fast we would be buying up like that new like legacy Cybertron Hotshot if you redid it as BotCon Goldbug? Instantly. Instantly. So that's the hope. That's the hope. I want Gen Selects to come back, and I want it to be really inventive again.
Okay, that was basically the end of the. Just let it play. That was the end of the video. Regarding the whole, I gotta go back and hear this. Hold on, let me. Let's go back
Focus
here.
on.
Hold on, let's.
It was really frustrating, you know, and I think just that caused overproduction. That always felt like a replacement for the oddball stuff BotCon would come up with. The difference is they're just filling gaps. They're doing like late era fun pub stuff that really wasn't as popular because it wasn't nearly as clever or inventive. It was usually just repaint them to look like Diaclone. But Selects is a way of making up for that, than having that kind of spirit. The problem is we've seen less and less of Selects the last couple years. Trypticon coming out in that line, that's a huge improvement. The box looking like something, that's a huge improvement. You know what killed Selects? Aside from maybe going too far into the obscure and doing the same mistake FunPub.
Okay, so that's what it was. So his issue is that it went into the too obscure. And here are some of the ones. Here are just off the let's see. I don't know where the other one is. It was supposed to be 3 of them. I can't. Oh, where the? Oh, I think the other one's part of the 3-pack. Hold on 1 second. Oh, there it is. Well, it's not really. Okay, so I'll have to just go with these two. Okay, so he's like. They went to the too obscure for Generation Selects. Oh, hold on. Here are a couple right off the bat that I bought when I had a chance back in 2019. I bought the Generation Selects Power Dasher Chromar. Here. I think it's a pretty good figure. I actually like it. And the other one was Zetar. I actually like this one out of the three Power Dashers I have. I have the Power Dasher. Oh god, I have Chromar, Zetar, and then the other one that was not part of the Generation Selects. It is this guy. It is oh god, what's his name? Argon. Power Dasher Argon. I have these figures and I actually like them, but he says that these are too obscure, that these are obscure figures. And I would be willing to give him that. I would be willing to give him that. But then he goes and his thing is, these are too obscure figures that people who don't know these characters are not going to want to get them because they're too obscure. I would have given him that. However, he then follows up by saying something like this.
Really creative things. I would love for them to be like old school BotCon creative. I would love for them to go into like really cool colors and characters that would be really, really cool to get new toys of, but maybe not something that BotCon would have done late in their run. Like, you know what would be perfect would be more BotCon toys. You know how.
Okay, I'm not trying to. Okay, I will shit on the guy for saying this. I don't know. I'm trying to be nice. His idea to fix something that was focusing on figures that were too obscure is, hey guys, you don't want those figures that are obscure. Here are some figures I like that are really obscure. I know that this may come as a goddamn shock to everyone. And I hope it fucking does. Not everybody could go to a goddamn convention. Not everybody has the money to go to BotCon, to TFCon, to any fucking convention. They people just can't. So your idea to revamp Generation Selects is get rid of all the obscure crap. We don't need all that. Get rid of that. Here I have some figures. For example, use your imagination. Here, have this figure. This figure was a custom paint, and he had a whole bunch of stuff, and he was unique to TFCon or Comic Con or CyberCon or whatever the fuck con. Those figures that he is wanting to push, BotCon, that was what that he, from BotCon, will be just as fucking obscure to everybody who didn't go to fucking BotCon. You're wanting to replace one obscure figure with another obscure figure of your choice. Do you see the problem here? Either way, nobody's going to be happy. The figures like Chromar and Zaytar, oh, that's too obscure. Here we can have a BotCon exclusive gold bug. Motherfucker, not everybody knows who that figure was and why he was special at BotCon. Because some people just can't afford it. He literally sounds like in his head, everybody can go to the conventions. Everybody and their mother has gone to these conventions. Wrong, shithead. No, they haven't. You are simply wanting to replace one group of figures because you don't like them with another group of figures because you were privileged enough to go to these conventions. You were privileged enough to probably bump your elbows with the voice actors. It's not like that for everybody. It's not like that for people who may get one or two figures, a year because they can't afford it. But this figure's from BotCon. What we need is more BotCon. Fuck off with BotCon. Am I saying that BotCon has no place? No. But to literally say, oh, these figures, get rid of them. Here, have this one for BotCon. And he makes it sound like literally everybody went to BotCon. I wouldn't mind seeing what a BotCon Gold Bud looks like. But to literally say, let's sweep all the stuff. Let's get rid of it all. We'll replace one group of obscure characters. We'll just replace them with a whole bunch of other obscure characters. It doesn't fucking work. But yeah, so yeah, that is basically it, ladies and gentlemen. That was my thoughts regarding TJOmega and what he would like to see in 2025. I kind of gave my breakdown after every part of what he was talking about. And basically, it kind of equals out to just a fanboy's dreams and desires, basically. He wants to just do a quick summary. He wants Reactivate's dead. My mom can attest to that. She's as dead as Reactivate. He wants Transformers 2. You would have a better fucking chance of seeing Reactivate than you would Transformers 2. He wants outrageous and cool looking Prime toys. 13 Primes. But then he accepts the fact that Megatronus is going to be a tank. So he has to give them that. What the fuck is it, dude? You can't, you're fence sitting. Do you want wild figures, or are you going to be content with what Hasbro gives you? Because right now you're sitting on the fucking fence. He wants Titan, he wants security to know that Titans are going to be returning. Honestly, I don't think they are. I think we are witnessing the end run of Titans. I think last Titan we may get will be a re-release of Metroplex. Not the shitty one we got in Legacy. I'm talking about the Metroplex. Let's see, what else was there? Oh yeah, and then Generation Selects. He basically just wants to get rid of one group of obscure characters and bring in ones that he wants to see. Doesn't fucking work like that. But then again, this is the problem with the goddamn fandom. They scream and bellyache and moan and cry like a bunch of fucking toddlers off the tit. And then when Big Mommy Hasbro starts giving them something, they throw a fit and they don't want that. You know what to do. Click the subscribe and like if you like what you watch. If you're on Facebook, click the like and the follow or whatever. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.